振り子は触れ戻る。未来へと進み続けた物語はここで一旦動きを止め、過去へと触れ戻る。それはほんのわずかな時間。しかしそれゆえに恐るべき速度で遥か彼方へ。知らねばならない。だが知られてはならない。そこにあるのは仮面の真実。
Okay, here's how this shit is gonna work, okay? On the right here, I have wrote down 100 of my favorite video games of all time, okay? There is no order to this list on the right. Do not freak out. Azura's Wrath is not the greatest game of all time. Bahamut Lagoon is not the second greatest game of all time. Banjo-Kazooie is not the third, and so on and so forth. The list that really matters is here on the left. This is the actual order of everything, right? Jesus, guys, we've already raised so much fucking money. Oh my god. Okay, so I have divided this list of 100 into 10 special zones, okay? At the start, numbers 100 to 91 are the gates of acceptance. This is pretty cool. If you get into this, you made a good-ass video game. After that, 90 to 81 are the mountains of quality. You made quite a good video game. If you can somehow get past the mountains of quality, you have the bridge of killers. This is where we start getting fucking insane. These are some of the best games in existence, but they're not as good as number 70 to 61, The Path of the Elite. Some of the best games ever, which still look like shit compared to 60 to 51, The Doorway of the Best. Only to be diminished by the threshold of brilliance, 50 to 41, which leads to the Stairway of Greatness, leading to the Ascension of the Super Beasts, leading to the Battle on Heavenly Ground, leading to the Domain of God, until finally there is only one left, the Throne of the Undisputed. That's what we're doing here today. But this isn't everything, okay? Because I couldn't fit all the games I liked onto this list. And so I had to come up with another list called The Shadow Realm. This is every game I considered being one of the top 100 games of all time, but couldn't fit them into the 100, okay? So The Shadow Realm, it sounds bad, and it kind of is a bit, but you have to remember, The Shadow Realm is also a place of respect. Good games go into the Shadow Realm. The only way you can make it to the Shadow Realm is if I have enough respect for you to go there, okay? But I have added one more zone, and this is somewhere you don't want to go. I'm dead serious. Going here is the worst thing that can happen in a fucking video game, okay? And I want to say to any studios watching this, because I know they're all watching, if your game ends up here, look, it's okay, it's just my opinion, but it is probably the worst thing that will ever happen to you. And that zone is the Dead Zone. This is where I'm going to put any video game suggested by chat that is just, I think, is not a good video game, that I do not like. So here it is. If you guys want to suggest games, you can, but keep in mind, your game could end up in the Dead Zone. Do you want to do that to your favorite? Do you want to do that to your favorite developer? Do you want to do that to your favorite studio? Do you want to have this black mark on their lives for the rest of time? Okay, I'm seeing people to scream at me to put Shenmue 3 in the Dead Zone. And this is going to be a positive stream. This is going to be a good, fun time, okay? But I am going to start by entering Shenmue 3 in the Dead Zone. You see the way you can barely read its name? That's on purpose, because you're not meant to see shit in the Dead Zone. Nothing really exists in the Dead Zone. It is a bad place to be. Anyway, I don't want to get too negative, but so that's the warning for the chat. If you suggest to me something that you think is really good, be prepared for the fact that it could end up in the Dead Zone, okay? Now, what we got to do now is go through 100 games. Okay, Here's the Shadow Realm. These are all good games. But the games that did not make it into the top 100 are Let It Die, South Park Stick of Truth, Joe and Max, Super Double Dragon, Tiny Toons Adventures, which is a great fucking game, by the way, and I won't have anyone say differently. Little Nightmares, Shantae and the Pirate's Curse, Deltarune, No More Heroes 2, Muramasa and the Demon Blade, Simon the Sorcerer 2, whoops. Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi, which was an ambitious fucking fighting game, and no one appreciates it. Choo Choo Rocket, WrestleMania 2000, Bust-A-Move, Sunset Riders, Fury, Evo, Castlevania Symphony of the Night did not make it into my top 100, despite the fact it's a very good game. If I get too many complaints about this, I will put it in the dead zone. Do not make me do that. Do not make me do that. Into the Breach, Tenchu Wrath of Heaven, Haunting Ground, Arkham Asylum, Fury, Hyrule Warriors, The Magical Quest starring Mickey Mouse, Wario Land, Thumper, Metal Slug 3, Day of the Tentacle, GoldenEye, Anodyne, Tekken Tag Tournament, River City Girls, Persona 4, which has made it to the top 100, Lilat Wars, Harvest Moon, XCOM Enemy Unknown, Shadow of the Colossus, The King of Fighters 2000, Celeste, Dark Chronicle, SSX Tricky, Silent Hill, Shattered Memories, World of Horror, Final Fantasy VII Remake, and Shenmue 1. Whew. Why is Fury there twice? Because it's really good. That's why it's there twice. I don't want no guff from the chat, okay? Every time I do one of these streams, I get so much fucking guff from the chat. I'm not going to tolerate it this time. Is Silent Hill 3 Dead Zone? No, Silent Hill 3 fucking rules. That's a beautiful game. I'll put that in the Shadow Realm. Wait, John thinks P4 is better than P5. Lol. Lion Kun, I love you. I appreciate you joining the stream. If you think P5 is better than P4... you're insane, my friend. You are literally insane. Final Fantasy 15 is Dead Zone. Final Fantasy 15 can go in the Dead Zone. That's how things work. I'm trying to keep it positive here. I am trying to keep it positive. This is how this shit works, okay? Guys, I see a lot of donations coming in. I super appreciate it. We will get to them in due time. I'm going to read out everyone's donations. And I really... we're like nearly halfway to our goal and we have not started the list. Okay, so now in alphabetical order, I'm going to run down the games that are up for nomination, okay? Azora's Wrath, Bahamut Lagoon, Banjo-Kazooie, Bayonetta 2, Binding of Isaac, Bloodborne, Bloodstained Curse of the Moon, Capcom vs SNK 2, Cave Story, Chrono Trigger, Command & Conquer Red Alert, Cuphead, Danganronpa 2, Dark Souls, Dead or Alive 2 Ultimate, Dead Rising, Deadly Premonition 2, I know, we'll get to it, Detention, Devil May Cry 5, Devotion, Disgaea, Doki Doki Literature Club, Donkey Kong Country 2, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, Dragon Quest 11, Earthbound FTL, Fallout New Vegas, Final Fantasy 6, Final Fantasy 7, Fire Emblem Awakening, Full Throttle, Garou Mark of the Wolves, Gitaru Man, God Hand, Gone Home, Guilty Gear Xrd Revelator, Gunstar Heroes, Hades, Half-Life, Hollow Knight, Hotline Miami, Hyperlight Drifter, If Found, Killer 7, Lisa, Legend Mystical Ninja, Link to the Past, Majora's Mask, Mass Effect 2, Mega Man 2, Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, Metal Gear Solid 2, Metroid Prime, Monster Hunter World, Mother 3, Mystical Ninja 64, Nier 999, No More Heroes, Ocarina of Time, Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door, Phoenix Wright, Pokemon Blue, Pokemon Soul Silver, Portal 2, Red Dead Redemption 2, Resident Evil 4, Persona 4 Golden, Resident Evil Remake, Secret of Mana, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, Shenmue 2, Silent Hill 2, Smash Bros. Switch, Spelunky 2, Street Fighter 3rd Strike, Street Fighter Alpha 3, Streets of Rage 2, Super Mario 3D World, Super Mario 64, Super Mario Bros. Yoshi's Island, Super Mario World, Super Metroid, Super Punch-Out, Tekken 5, The Walking Dead Season 1, Touhou 8, Imperishable Night, Tony Hawk's 3, Undertale, Virtue's Last Reward, Beautiful Joe, Virtua Fighter 4 Evolution, WWE No Mercy, Wind Waker, Witch's House, Yakuza 0, Yume Nikki, and Zombies 8, My Neighbors. That's what we're dealing with here, folks. That is the list. Touhou, seriously? Spurbus, get the fuck out. You're out of here, buddy. You're gone. Okay. Only other rules to all this are, if two sequels are similar, they do not get multiple spots. So Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, and 3, I picked my favorite among them. I am not going to be debating why I think Metal Gear Solid 2 is better than Metal Gear Solid 3. I have too much other shit to process tonight. I cannot spare the brain power to do that, okay? So I'm not going to enter in that debate. You're just going to have to accept that this is who I am, this is how I feel, and there's nothing that can be done about it, okay? Like, life is full of difficulty, life is full of hardship, and I want you all to remember that during this stream, because there's going to be a lot of upsetting things that are going to happen. We're all going to be very sad at cuts I have to make, and people are just going to be angry all the time, and that's okay. Just as a reminder, we are raising money for the American Foundation of Suicide Prevention, and part of me was a little thought that maybe that wasn't a great idea, because obviously suicide's a really serious thing and I'd never want to make light of that, but I also feel one of the problems surrounding suicide is the stigma of just it not being talked about and it not being discussed. I'm not going to speak personally on any experience I've had with suicide or something like that, because I just don't feel like I really have that life experience to say so meaningfully. But I also wanted to do a stream to try and take some of the stigma out of it, and that's why I chose it for this, because I think mental health, especially in year 2020, became a really fucked up thing for a lot of people. And so I figured if we're going to do something, let's do something that's kind of affecting everyone. And the American Foundation of Suicide Prevention does a lot of really good work. They don't just do like outreach in America, they fund studies, they have like hotlines that you can call, they do a lot of work that like just kind of affects everywhere. And so that's why I picked them for the charity. So with that in mind, we're going to do the first 10 and then we're going to get to reading some donations. Okay, so to begin, who is the first game to enter the gates of acceptance? What is the 100th best game of all time? And I was thinking about this earlier. And okay, one more note before we begin. I have to say, this could change dramatically depending on what day you ask me this stuff. This is my ultimate list as of right now. If you asked me to redo this list tomorrow, I would say it would end up differently, especially the first 30 or 40, because like it's pretty difficult to rank like what makes one game better than another, and so I'm just going to be going on instinct and feeling a lot. Okay. And I think the 100th best game of all time. I think I'm gonna go with Gone Home. Boom! It has begun. We have begun the transformation. Really cool game. Kind of like was one of the first and definitely had a big role in popularizing the real like explore 'em up kind of like, I guess walking simulators, a lot of games would call them. I thought it was a really, really well done game. It's beautiful. I think it was like my favorite game I played that year. Looking back on it, when you see the different kind of things that people have done with that genre, I think it's hard to justify it as like, especially against things like Devotion, which is going to be a real heavy hitter on this list. So yeah, I think that's it at number 100. Number 99. You know what? Number 99, I'm going to go for Bloodstained Curse of the Moon. This is not Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, which would not make it onto my list. Bloodstained Curse of the Moon is quite simply just one of the tightest games I have ever played in terms of just pure level design. That game is fucking brilliant because its levels force you to really come to terms with like all the different characters' abilities and mechanics and all this kind of stuff, and it's people are already so pissed. I love this. To me, like, I don't have, I think, like, an emotional connection with the game that I would need for it to go higher than this, but just from a pure level design standpoint, I would challenge you to find, like, more tightly designed games than this. Foolish streamer, me say. Guys, there's going to be a lot of misspelling, and I'm not even going to apologize. That's just what we're doing tonight. Okay, after this... You know what? After this, I think it's actually going to be Red Candle Games Detention. This is the game that came out before Devotion, and it's from a Taiwanese studio, Red Candle Games, and delves a lot into their history and their history in war. I feel like it's the kind of game where if you look at a video on YouTube, you won't appreciate it at all. Okay, we have a suggestion for Mario Odyssey. Is Mario Odyssey one of the 100 best games of all time? I don't think it is. I really don't. And... does it belong in the Shadow Realm? Chat, I want to ask you, does Mario Odyssey... No, I'm getting a lot of no's, more than I expected. Because you see, I don't like Mario Odyssey at all. I don't think it's a very good game, which is why I'm so sorry, but Mario Odyssey is going in the dead zone. I don't know how to spell Odyssey. I'm going to misspell it. I don't care. Oh yeah. Oh, that feels so good. And no one can get angry because this is a charity stream and I'm doing a good thing. I can do whatever I want and none of you can be angry at me because I'm raising money for a good cause. Okay. Number 97, I feel pretty comfortable with God Hand being number 97. This was a game that came out from, I think it was Clover. It was, yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Clover. But it was some variant of like the Capcom 6 that came out during the GameCube era. Super good game, kind of janky in its own way and just so weird and stupid, but I love it, honestly. Like it's a really fun game. You create your own combos. It has like an excellent like I think it's Kamiya game. I'm not 100% on that, but I think it is. But it has like, if you like beat 'em ups, if you like games where you just get to kick the shit out of people, it's an excellent one of them. Number 96. Where are we going? Right. No. These are all too good. These are all too good for the gates of acceptance. You know what? I'm happy enough to drop Deadly Premonition 2 in there. I know earlier I said we weren't doing sequels unless they're drastically different. I love Deadly Premonition 2. It is probably the most problematic game on this list in so many different ways. It is buggy as fuck. It's got kind of shitty representation towards trans people. I'd be lying if I said the game didn't mean a lot to me last year, where I just got really, really into it and got really lost in that world. But yeah, I think 96 feels like the kind of proper place for it because it is just a fucking disaster. But over God Hand, yes, Bogus Forehead, over God Hand. Okay, let's keep going here. Let's keep going. Okay. I don't know if I'm cutting Killer 7, but hear me out here, okay? Killer 7 is a game that I love that I hate playing. It plays like garbage, even though it is like really, really fun. Like even though like I respect so much about it, I never want to play it. Okay, no, I think on style alone, Killer 7 has to go further. Okay, I think I can put FTL in there. FTL is a game about flying a spaceship. Yeah, FTL. It's a procedurally generated game, so like you never really know what's going to happen, but it's basically up to you to fly through 4 galaxies, I think, and go from planet to planet, and like a lot of it's just through text, but it's the kind of thing where like the first time I ever played it, I got stranded in space with my space dog running out of oxygen until I starved to death, and it was so good. It's a really cool little game. Okay, number 94. Fade Persian Light, Undertale, Via Lore, Beautiful Joe. Oh, this is tough already. Okay, I think it's got to be Zombies Ate My Neighbors. Zombies Ate My Neighbors is like a Super Nintendo game. It's super fucking cool. It has a really great style and just like it's really fun to play. I think the only reason it stops this early for me is that it's also a nightmare. Like it's so difficult, and I always got to this like level on it where there were these giant sandworms and it was really scary and I could never beat them, so the game balance is in question. Still a great game. Okay, number 93. 3 spots left in the Gate of Acceptance. I think number 93 feels like a good spot for Undertale, actually. Undertale's like it's a good little indie game, and it kind of like, it does some interesting stuff, like it's cute, but I think this is about as far as it goes. No, no, I'm just fucking around, guys. No, that's not. No, it's okay. I don't know how many people know my takes here on Undertale, but it's going a lot further than that. A lot further. Look, I like to trick people. I don't know what to tell you. It's just who I am, okay? Okay, you know what? I think it's got to be Metroid Prime. I really like Metroid Prime, but it's not my favorite Metroid game. It's not my favorite first-person shooter. It's not my favorite. I just think it's one of those games, I think I nearly appreciate it more than have like a personal connection with it. And so I think it's kind of got to go here. It's like a fucking cool game, and I could see it being way higher on a lot of people's lists, but for me, this is about as far as it goes. Metroid Prime at number 93. Moving on into 92. 2 spots left in the gate of acceptance. And I think number 92 for me is actually going to be If Found. I really, really liked If Found. This is an Irish visual novel that came out last year. I was very, very high on it when I finished it. It was actually like, in Let's Fight a Boss, it was actually my game of the year last year. I think the further I moved away from it, the more I kind of appreciate its story, but also kind of find myself maybe wishing that there was more of a game element to it, because like the narrative was so linear. And I think if it had mixed the story with maybe more of the strengths of being a video game, it could go a lot further. But it's a really cool game. It's a really great LGBTQ game. Like if you know, if like, I think that stuff has kind of led to isolation and stuff for you, and I think it gets across a lot of that stuff in a really profound, meaningful way, and it's really fucking cool. But I think this is as far as it goes. Later on, I'm going to be pulling up like footage of games, and we're going to be talking about specific moments, but for now I don't want to get too bogged down in that, because we will literally be here all night. And like it's already like 20 past 10, or 10:20 p.m. as you Americans call it. So If Found. Okay, this next one's going to be controversial, but just allow me to explain myself, okay? The next cut is going to be Fallout New Vegas. This is a game I started playing very, very recently, okay? And I have not played... I've played about 12 hours in New Vegas, and I've been having a great time. I've been having a really, really good time with it. I know everyone's going insane, I know. There is every chance that if I got to play like 20 more hours of Fallout New Vegas, it could go so much further up the list, because I think it's a fantastic game, okay? Like, I really do. But in all honesty, when I think of my emotional... I'm so sorry, chat. Everyone is going nuts. If I think about like my emotional connection with this game, what it means to me, it is like less than a lot of games on this list, but that is because I need to play more of it. And so it's unfortunate for New Vegas. If I did this list in a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, it could go so much further than that, okay? So I'm sorry, everyone. I'm sorry. This is as far as Fallout. No, I think it's a great game. I'm going to play some like tomorrow when I'm done with this stream, but that's as far as it goes. Okay. Guys, we are at the end of the gates of acceptance. The first 10th of our journey is over. We have now reached the mountains of quality. This is where shit starts to get serious. I know I've tried to say that things are serious before. They weren't. Now we're serious. Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, not a game I'm super fond of. To me, it's not Shadow Realm material, but it's not Dead Zone material either, because I appreciate that it's a fucking cool game, but it's not... Yeah, no, that's not going anywhere. Death Stranding, same deal. It's not going to be in the Shadow Realm, but it's not bad enough to go in the Dead Zone. Life is Strange is a tough one, because I don't like Life is Strange, but I can appreciate it from afar, and like it came out in a time where there were very few gay games, and so I wouldn't feel right dead zoning it. And like it's just, Life is Strange is like personally repellent to me, but I get that people like it for reasons that I think are good. But yeah. Okay. We're gonna go back to this. Through the gates of acceptance, onto the mountains of quality. Here we go. Guys, we are so close to hitting our goal, and that is fucking insane. We hit this so much quicker than I thought we would. What is with this? Okay. Okay. I think I might be about to do something that's very unpopular. Oh, this is gonna be bad. The first entry into the mountains of quality is Hades. Chat, I'm so sorry. Holy shit. Wow, look at you guys. Retire this man. Okay, here's the thing with Hades. I think Hades is a fantastic game. In fact, there are 10 games that I consider the 100 best games of all time that Hades is better than. That's insane. But I hit a point with Hades and it was just like, it felt like chewing gum that I had chewed. I just felt like I'd seen everything in Hades. I felt like I'd gotten all the good weapon combinations. And doing a run in Hades now doesn't thrill me in the same way that doing a Binding of Isaac run does, or even a Spelunky run. So I guess what I'm saying is I think Hades is amazing, but I think there's like, for me, there was like a very clear point where I was like, I just kind of had to get rid of it. I think it's a fucking fantastic game, but I think for me, this is as far as it goes. It's done well. It's done well. Okay. 89. Okay, it's got to be Mystical Ninja 64. I really love the Ganbare Goemon series. It's like one of my favorite video game series ever. And this is the Nintendo 64 game of that. And it's basically it's kind of like a Super Mario 64 clone. And it's actually, I want to pull up a video of this real quick because it is really fucking beautiful. Like, when I say beautiful, I mean beautiful in like a low poly kind of garbagey way. Like, look at this. Look at this adorable ass game. Like, doesn't this just make you feel good? Doesn't this just make you wish for a simpler time when the world was not so complicated, when all your allies had not turned against you and life wasn't a screaming nightmare? Because that's what it does for me. Look, just beautiful. Beautiful. Better than Hades. Better than Hades, motherfuckers, and there's nothing you can do about it. Oh. Okay, let's keep it moving. Okay, Dead or Alive 2 Ultimate. Okay, look, everyone here knows how I started on YouTube, and that is that I started an anime YouTube channel, and therefore it shouldn't be any surprise that when I was a teenager, the game Dead or Alive 2 Ultimate meant a lot to me. I am not going into what I mean by that anymore. You figure it out for yourself, okay? And I had a lot of fun games of this against my cousin. One time me and him sat down and I swear to God, I think we played 120 matches in a row and it was fucking brilliant. It was one of the best, experiences with a fighting game I've ever had. And I will never not be able to think of like getting a PS2 for the first time and playing Dead or Alive 2 and just like it being so far ahead of anything that could have existed on the PS1 or N64. And yeah, that's my justification for it. I like it. Dead or Alive Ultimate 2, better game than Hades. Fucking deal with it, everyone. Just look, in a year, you'll all have come down from your weird, horny Hades high, and you'll all be like, you know what? Mystical Ninja 64 and Dead or Alive 2 Ultimate are better than Hades, okay? And hey, Dead or Alive's a great fighting game. I won't hear any shit talked about Dead or Alive 2. It's a legit good fighting game. God, Persona 4 Golden has actually made it way further than I thought it would, but I wouldn't feel right cutting it yet, so I'm not gonna. Okay, it's Command & Conquer Red Alert 2. I know there's going to be like one person freaking out about this game getting cut. It's my favorite real-time strategy game of all time. I think it's fantastic, way better than Hades. You know, I'm starting to think I maybe placed Hades too high up this list. I'm wondering, should I drop Hades down some more? Like, is Hades really better than Fallout? No, I'm going to stop. Command & Conquer, it was really good too. One of the things I really love about the game is it had these old FMVs. And I swear to God, when this game came out, this was the most incredible shit. This was amazing looking. Look at that. Amazing. Okay. Have we hit our donation goal? Holy shit. Guys, we have smashed our donation goal. We Jesus Christ, we are $84 over our donation goal. That was so fast. Oh my god. Well, I guess I don't have to do this anymore, so thanks for that. I was getting kind of tired of it, honestly. So there you go. The top 100, the top 13 games out of 100. Thanks everyone for no, we'll keep going. We'll keep going. But that's really incredible, guys. I know I'm kind of playing the heel here, as I am reticent to do sometimes, but that is, you know, it's a really good cause, and it's so fucking weird to me that, like, we hit it and we're not even like a fifth of the way into this stream. So yeah, let's keep raising some money. Like, let's raise some fucking hell here and really make a difference. But, you know, thank you everyone who's donated, and just thank you everyone who's watching. Like, I'm having a good time and really hope you guys are too. But Hades is a shitty game. Oh. You're such an asshole. I know. I'm aware. Okay, number 86. We're gonna do more donation readings at the end of this. I wish I could cut Hades again. It just felt so good the first time, you know? Full Throttle. Okay, I think next is gonna be Full Throttle. This is a really old LucasArts point-and-click adventure that I adore. It actually got a HD remaster, which I have not played. I was obsessed with this game when I was little. I just thought it was the coolest fucking thing. I'd like to believe it holds up well, but a lot of the games from that era do, so I'm hoping it does. And yeah, Full Throttle. Number 85. Let's keep it moving. Mud clip. I got stuck at the guys where you need to fight guys on the bike. So you need to throw sand in the woman with the chainsaw's face. I got stuck on that for a long time. And never played Grim Fandango. Never played Monkey Islands. Oh! Tofu Boy 44 is after suggesting Crash Bandicoot. Is Crash Bandicoot one of the 100 greatest games of all time? So we're talking about Crash Bandicoot for the PS1. Is Crash Bandicoot one of the greatest games of all time? Guys, I don't think it is, which means we have to go down to the Shadow Realm. Does Crash Bandicoot belong in the Shadow Realm? Does Crash Bandicoot belong at the bottom of the Shadow Realm, or does it deserve to go even lower? Oh, people don't think I'll do it? People don't think I don't have the fortitude to put Crash Bandicoot in the dead zone? Well, get a load of this. Crash Bandicoot is in the dead zone. No one can stop me. I can do whatever I want. I am God in this reality, and everyone just has to accept it. The dead zone. Crash Bandicoot. Guys, that's what happens when you come into this without thinking. When you suggest a game, you need to think carefully, because look what can happen. Can you imagine Naughty Dog at the moment? Can you imagine? I bet Naughty Dog is getting, like, I know it's like it's early on a Saturday, but I bet Naughty Dog just got an email that their first ever game just got dead zoned, and they can't believe it. They're probably shutting their doors. Like, I would not expect Last of Us 3, because that is a blow so devastating they will never make it. Okay, let's keep it moving. Number 85. Is there a Quantic Dream game on this list? There is not. There is not. I have very complicated feelings towards the Quantic Dream games, and they are definitely not 100 of the best games ever made, but they're not good enough for the Shadow Realm. I genuinely don't think they belong in the dead zone, and it's for one reason: they are ambitious as fuck, okay? Like, they're not great games. David Cage seems like a moron. His stories are bad, and he's a bad writer, but I respect the ambition of those games. Why is Hades so low? Because it's not as good as anything that's above it, I would say, is the reason for that. Any love for Seikenku Detsu 3? It's good. I don't like it as much as Secret of Mana. Oh, man. Okay. Gonna have to start getting brutal. Okay. Next cut is going to be Guilty Gear Xrd Revelator. I love Guilty Gear. I love the Guilty Gear universe. I love its characters. I love everything about it. If I ever said that I had, like, made if I at any point said that like I could play any Guilty Geared game with a degree of competence, I would be lying. I am bad at those games and I have never fully understood their mechanics, and I want to, but it is a barrier that I feel is like so high, and so for that reason I gotta cut Guilty Gear Xrd Revelator, just because like again, it's my personal connection to this game. I love it. Baiken is one of the all-time best fighting game characters ever. I love her so much, but I think considering that things are getting a little tight here, it's gotta go. Next up, I know this is going to piss people off as well, but the next cut is going to be Hollow Knight. I love Hollow Knight. I think it is a game that so far surpassed my expectations. Like, I really went into it expecting nothing and just loved it. The art style, the combat, the gameplay, it's all great. I have not beaten it, and I don't like being lost. I know everyone loves Hollow Knight. I know, but I've got to be honest. It's like, it's a cool game. It is not what I consider one of the best 75 or 85 games in the world. And we've got, look guys, I'm sorry, but we got to get cutting. I can cut Hades again if that would make people feel any better. Number 84, Hollow Knight. And that is a position to be proud of. That is really good, and I cannot wait. And I need to go back and beat Hollow Knight, and there's every chance that could go up, but that's as far as it goes. Okay, you know what? I wasn't going to cut Monster Hunter World for a while, and then I remembered the fucking egg missions. Monster Hunter and Monster Hunter World is the game that made me give a shit about Monster Hunter. It is an amazing game. Its quality of life improvements actually brought me to the point that I can finally, after 3 attempts on 3 different games, appreciate Monster Hunter. It's beautiful, it's great. I hate collecting eggs, I hate looking for tracks, I hate that so much of the game is barricaded behind like having to search out these tracks when I just want to kill giant monsters with my friends, okay? But it's gotta go. It's gotta go. Do you know, I gotta say, I wouldn't, like, I saw one person saying that, like, Monster Hunter is Dark Souls. I really think there's such different experiences. But, I do like it a lot, but yeah, I think it's gotta go. Okay. Two parts. There are 2 games on this list that will not make it out of the mountains of quality. And I think one of them is Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Islands. Really great game. I went back to it last year and actually felt like it didn't hold up as well as I thought it would, but beautiful art style, really interesting game, like it a lot, but it's like my maybe 4th or 5th favorite Mario game. Bogus forehead. That's the best one. He's mad, lads. Over 3D World. 3D World is maybe the best 3D Mario game. Just marinate on that one for a little bit. I don't fucking care. I'll say anything. No Galaxy. You know what? I'm not actually a big fan of Galaxy. I'm not gonna put it in the dead zone or anything, but I don't even like it enough to put it in the Shadow Realm. I don't think that's a great game. I think it's okay. It's fine. Okay, one more game. Part of me is saying VLR, Virtue's Last Reward, but I do fucking love that game. Oh, okay. Let's see if we can find something that can replace Virtue's Last Reward for the 81 spot. People are saying, does VLR really go before 999? That is a difficult, because to me, 999 is a more complete experience. I think 999 does what it does better than Virtue's Last Reward. Virtue's Last Reward is also a way more ambitious game than 999. That's tough. That's really tough. You know what? I think it is actually going to be 999. I think 999 goes at this point. 999, one of my favorite visual novels ever. Absolutely adore it. beautiful game, touches off some really interesting concepts. I think the only thing that lets it down for me is I don't think the character writing is that interesting. I think it's a bunch of very average characters put in a really interesting situation, and I think VLR edges it out a little there. I think there's better characters in VLR, but I also think 999 has one of the strongest atmospheres of any game I've ever played, and a lot of that's down to the music. The soundtrack fucking rules, and I love that. Yeah, I think that's what it's got to be. That's what it's got to be. Okay, guys, we have made our way past the gates of acceptance, through the mountains of qualities, and we have reached the bridge of killers. Uncle Grandpa, hope you're having a good one. Please don't put Yakuza 7 in the dead zone. Oh, would I be crazy enough to put Yakuza 7? Would anyone put Yakuza 7 in the dead zone? Because, like, I think Yakuza 7, it's not a bad game, you know? It's not like... I mean, it is, in some ways, demonstrably worse than the other Yakuza games. And some would argue that it has started off a terrible precedent for the series. Some would say that maybe people are willing to look past all the bad things about Yakuza 7 because they're so in love with the concept of Yakuza. But maybe Yakuza died at Judgment. Maybe there hasn't been a good Yakuza game. I'm not saying I think these things, but I am saying, like, do you guys think that Yakuza 7 should go in the Shadow Realm? Do you think we should put Yakuza 7 in the Shadow Realm? I'm curious. Should Yakuza 7 go in the Shadow Realm? Interesting. A lot of yeses. Boy, people sure would be upset if I put it in the dead zone, wouldn't they? That would really sour the mood of this stream. So I'm going to say, I think Yakuza 7 is an okay Yakuza game. And I think it's a fucking terrible RPG. In the dead zone it goes. Oh, that felt so good. That felt so good. John, you have bad taste. Maybe. But it's my stream, and you're all watching. You are objectively wrong. Holy shit. Fuck you. Fuck your fucking fuck you, you charitable motherfucker. Oh, no one can get mad. This is all for a good cause. This is all for a good cause, you know? I mean, getting back on track. Number 80, The Bridge of Killers. We have 80 games to... Oh my god, we have 80 fucking games to go. Oh, it's weird. Like, when you read through the list, it's like you read it and you're like, every round, it's like, no, no, no. And sometimes it's something feels really solid. And then, like, you can't imagine cutting it. And then as things get more desperate, slowly you feel yourself softening on things and being like, I think we can start to let that go. And it's weird. And I think I know what's going to go next. The first entry into the Bridge of Killers is Fire Emblem Awakening. Absolutely fantastic game. Love Fire Emblem Awakening. Tharja and Long Ku, two of my favorite video game characters. Absolutely fucking brilliant. But I have one major problem with this game. I think this is a game with great characters with a really meh story. I think the story has a really interesting plot twist, and if you've played it, you know what it is. But I do think that, like, it's not the full package. And I like the game. I like the gameplay in it. I think the gameplay is way better than something like Three Houses, which I think has really meh gameplay. But yeah, that would be my justification for this. Number 79. VLR is next, I think. I feel like we kind of already talked a lot about VLR, and it's a great game, but I think it can't really go much further than this. It's kind of a pain in the ass in a lot of ways. It's a very awkward game, but it's still incredibly worth it. And, like, I think the way it explains things like string theory and all these, like, really out there concepts is fucking amazing. And I also think the cast is generally a lot stronger than 999. I love the voice acting as well. The voice acting of the weird bunny rabbit is so good. It's like one of the best like villain voice acting I've ever heard. I think Deadly Premonition goes here. Cool, like, you know, it's a broken game with a lot of personality. Also has some really weird treatments of like kind of trans character, and I don't like that about it. But it is so fucking weird and broken and kind of beautiful in its own way. There's a really good video essay on it. It's called Deadly Premonition, More Than Just So Bad It's Good. I can't remember the name of the person who made it, but it's really worth a watch because it shows you how strangely mechanically intricate the game actually is, and I'd recommend that. Does Half-Life encapsulate the whole series or just the original game? Just the original game. We'll get to that. Okay, Killer 7 for sure. Really interesting game with a ton of flaws. It has maybe more style than nearly every other game on this list. I have no idea what is going on in that story, but I can appreciate there's something kind of fucking beautiful about it. But I think it's not my favorite Suda51 game, but it's my second favorite Suda51 game. It's cool. This is as far as it goes. At 77, hell yeah. Okay, I'm sure this is going to be an unpopular one. Number 76 is going to be Cave Story. I love Cave Story. I really love Cave Story. I think when I was headed to a con last year, I replayed most of Cave Story on my Switch on a plane, and it was still really good, but I think when I originally played Cave Story, it was like the idea that this was made by just one person was so fucking mind-blowing, and I think it's lost some of that now that indie games are such a big thing, and indie games are so big in part because of that game, and it's great. If you hadn't played it, you should check it out. It's like a piece of game in history, and it's got some of the fucking cutest pixel art you'll ever see. But yeah, I think this is as far as it goes. Okay, I think the next one for me is Hotline Miami. I feel like Hotline Miami in a lot of ways kind of brought like style in games to nearly a new level. Like, it's not the visuals, it's not the soundtrack, it's not the writing, it's how all those things coalesce into one just amazing fucking package that I really loved. It's an incredible game. Like, playing it is really fun, but like, I don't think you can even watch a Let's Play of Hotline Miami and get what's so good about it. Like, you have to be in it, experiencing every part of it at once, and I think it's a really cool version of that. Cheeky Chimera, Hotline Miami was a musical awakening for me. Me too, buddy. Big time. Although, do you know the only thing I think is better about Hotline Miami 2 than Hotline Miami 1? I think the soundtrack is actually better in 2. It's fucking incredible. Okay, next we are cutting Portal 2. Portal 2, I think, has some of the best writing in any game I've ever played. I think it is, in a lot of ways, a less tight package than Portal 1, and I don't think the puzzles are as good, but I think just for the Cave Johnson segments and how much they squeeze out of, like, I know they kind of milk GLaDOS a lot in Portal 2, but as one of my favorite game characters ever, I did not mind at all. I did not mind. Okay, next, it's gotta be Azura's Wrath. But does it have to be Azura's Wrath? Chat, give me some input here. How do you guys feel about cutting Azura's Wrath? Get it out of here. Yes, please don't. Meh, fair. Let it keep going. Okay, look, we're gonna let Azura's Wrath ride. We're letting Azura's Wrath ride, okay? Okay, you know what? I think I can cut Garou Mark of the Wolves. I love this game. It is one of the best fighting games ever. I think for me, my love of this game nearly comes from more an appreciation, because I've never been at a point in my life where I've known a bunch of other people also super into Grow and all of us play it together. I think if I had that, I would like... It would be one of my favorite games of all time, but I've never been at a point in my life where I am actively trying to get better at that game to beat other people. All my experience of this game comes from beating arcade over and over and over. And it's an amazing game with some absolutely beautiful sprite work, and I wish they made Gorilla Mark of the Wolves 2. I don't think that's ever going to happen, but it's fucking incredible. I'm seeing you gotta cut 3D worlds, but do I? You know what? Actually, I'm just seeing Pop-Tart Kitty X in the chat. I think Banjo-Kazooie, I think it's gone far enough. I love Banjo-Kazooie. I think when you, like, it was such an amazing game at the time, but when you get further away from it, I feel like when you look at what that did compared to what a lot of other 3D platformers did, I think maybe that's where it falls down a little bit. It's a great game, but I think this is as far as it goes. Whew, getting tough. No, that's not true. It's been tough. It is tough. Whew. I feel like all these games deserve to go higher than this, but it's like, it's just fucking impossible. Like, there's just not enough room. Okay. Next, I think it's gotta be Hyper Light Drifter. One of the coolest games I have ever played. I love the feeling of this game. I think it's like the way it tells its story with... Okay, we got to get some Hyper Light Drifter up on screen. So I don't know like if you guys are familiar with this game, but like it is one of the best looking games I have ever seen in my life. It is so beautiful. Look at that. Holy shit. It's all like just pixel art, and it is just some of the most beautiful, like not just pixel art, just art I have ever seen. Like just absolutely gorgeous. Look at that. Just like S-rank color design, S-rank animation, just so beautiful. And the crazy part is like you look at it and it's like, okay, I will play this game on how gorgeous it looks. It plays so smooth and so nice. And I never like dug into the story, but it seemed like there was shit going on. Like it seemed like there was a lot of fun stuff. Could not recommend it enough. I feel good about it going here, but yeah, excellent game. And that's it. We've made it past the bridge of killers onto the path of the elite. We've done it, guys. Okay, John Walker. I haven't watched the podcast yet. Thanks for the spoilers. Anyway, thanks for doing this. Quick question. Where's Shovel Knight? I mean, I don't know. Where do you guys think that Shovel Knight should go? Just curious. Where should Shovel Knight go? What's wrong, guys? Why is everyone looking concerned? Don't you fucking dare! Don't dare do what? Shadow Realm. People want Shovel Knight to go to the Shadow Realm. That's interesting. Okay, guys. So we're gonna vote on Shovel Knight. The vote's gonna last 2 minutes, and I will put it in whatever position gets voted in. Okay. So this is entirely in your hands. I'm gonna ask you to take this seriously. So like don't troll, don't fuck around, because like I don't want my list to get fucked up. And the poll is going live now. Let's check the results. Oh, guys, dead. It's whew. This is a tough one. It's yeah, it's close. It's pretty close here. If we check, it looks like Shovel Knight might actually be headed to the dead zone, and that's not what I don't know that I would have placed it there. But I mean, this is up to you guys. I let you pick this. And it seems like people are gonna send Shovel Knight to the dead zone. Wow, that, you know, a little harsh maybe, but I mean, what can we do, you know? Just saw the chat go by. So John's going to be arrested at the end of this, yeah? I know, yeah. It looks like Dead Zone is coming with 52% of the votes. Looks like Shovel Knight is going to the Dead Zone. What do I think of Shovel Knight? I don't think it's very good. I don't like it very much. But the Dead Zone, that's harsh. That's a defiant statement. Yeah, I think I've seen enough. I think we can call it. Guys, Shovel Knight has been... It does not get into the Bridge of Killers. It does not go into the Mountains of Quality. It does not get into the Gates of Acceptance. It does not get into the Shadow Realm. Shovel Knight ends up in the Dead Zone. Shovel Knight. Yeah, it's official. It's official. The chat voted Shovel Knight into the Dead Zone. I'm appalled, honestly. Really shocked at that. But I guess that's what you guys wanted. You wanted that. So I mean I know people are upset, but now I mean I guess what can we do? Anyway, why don't we read out a few more donations for this super good cause, okay? It's a very positive stream. We're all kind of keeping it cool. But you know, that's just how the cookie crumbles, my friends, you know? Again, wouldn't have been my choice, but that's what you guys wanted to do. So, I mean, who am I to say no to that? Uncle Grandpa, hope you're having a good one. Oh, I really am. Please don't put Yakuza 7 in the Dead Zone. Oh, I love it. These are all from like an hour ago. Thank you so much for everything. You're amazing. My husband and I love your wonderful work. Wishing you all the best and everything. I'm sorry it's not more. Pop-Tart Kitty, that's $15. Thank you so much. And thank you to Omani for $10. I've been there with all the suffering. Stay strong. Much love, Can. I can ask a question. Do you consider Can you consider Xenoblade Chronicles OG? I mean, I've played Xenoblade Chronicles. Is that what you're asking? Are you asking me to run the numbers on Xenoblade Chronicles and see where it ends up? Oh man, you know I wasn't going to, but I'm starting to get a little itchy. I'm starting to maybe feel that No, I'm not gonna put it in the... No, it's safe. Don't worry about it, guys. Next donation. It's going in the Dead Zone! It's going in the Dead Zone! Xenoblade Chronicles is going in the Dead Zone. And I have a very specific reason for this. Let this be a lesson to any fucking RPG that feels a need to implement shitty MMO combat. MMO combat is only a thing because the internet was bad and we had to make bad combat to go with it, okay? I don't like that combat. Everything else about Xenoblade Chronicles, mwah, fantastic. That combat, terrible. And so I'm delivering a message. Xenoblade Chronicles is in the Dead Zone. Okay. I have played The World Ends With You. I respect it too much to put it in the Dead Zone, but I don't like it enough for it to go in the Shadow Realm. So, let's see what we got here. Friends, we have entered the path of the elite. This isn't baby bullshit anymore. This is a big fucking deal, okay? This is huge. Every game past this point, everything that came before, garbage, especially Hades. But Path of the Elite, this is some real life-changing shit. Skynia, please spell emblem right. I'm gonna cry. Sure thing. Let me see. Where is that? Here it is. I'll just correct that real quick. Because you were saying that kind of bothers you. And I don't want to cause anyone in the chat unnecessary stress. There we go. All better. Okay, Path of the Elite, let's go. Which is the 70th best game of all time. And I think I gotta go with Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. I've been eyeing this one for the last couple. I think it's a really cool game. I would challenge people to come up with a more intense, frightening moment than the battle with the Azora Ape. And I'm not going to spoil it, but like, if you've played that battle, you know that there is quite possibly the most pants-shitting moment in video games. I think it's a brilliant game. I think its story is a lot simpler than the Souls games and really suffers. I think Miyazaki is amazing, but I think his stories are better in the shadows than they are all out front, and it's a fucking fantastic game. It should go without saying that any game from this point on is absolute pure gold, and I could probably talk about for hours. I could make videos about basically every game left on this list, but yeah, at some point we gotta cut them because I do want to sleep. I do want to get a couple of hours sleep tonight. Like, just if you guys are unaware, it is nearly midnight in Ireland right now, so it is. I am going to be tired by the time we are done this. You know, Hada Wad Fad. You know, your fucking opinion is just wrong. Oh, buddy. Tony Hawk's has made it this far. Tony Hawk's has made it exactly this far. The next game we are cutting is Tony Hawk 3. I love this game, and I think, you know, I could argue that the remake of 1 and 2 is actually better than Tony Hawk 3, but I think when you take the Tony Hawk series as a whole and the impact they had back then, I felt like Tony Hawk 3 was the peak of that series, and it was the peak of some really fucking cool cultural shit. Like, it was this moment that skater culture just broke into the mainstream in a way that was, like, so fucking good. It started me out in having a serious taste in music, you know? It was like it was a beautiful game in so many ways, and I think of it very fondly, but I think 69 is the right number for it. Next up, it's gotta be Azura's Wrath. I love it. I can't in good conscience let it go any further. I love its story. I love its characters. I love Azura as a character. The moment where he holds his little fucking baby girl and he's this god of rage and anger and passion, and he doesn't know how to quell her crying. It's beautiful. The fucking fist bump. I'm not going to spoil anything. The fist bump of Azura's Wrath, and how that, you hitting X being this, like, little... Oh, one of the best moments of any game I've ever played. I love Azura's Wrath. I know Wooly doesn't like it. I know Matt doesn't like it. I'm sorry, but Wooly and Matt can go fuck themselves, because Azura's Wrath is a beautiful game and I love it, and I hate anyone who doesn't like it. I mean that. I personally hate you if you don't like Azura's Wrath. Raylag666, you must be new here. This list lacks Xenoblade Chronicles. Oh, buddy, it doesn't. We actually have Xenoblade Chronicles here. It's just not on screen. If we go down past the Path of the Elite, past the Bridge of Killers, past the Mountains of Quality, past the Gates of Acceptance, past the Shadow Realm, you will find that the Dead Zone actually contains Xenoblade Chronicles. It's right there, buddy. It's right there. Oh, this must be like the most aggressive, angry charity stream there has ever been. Oh, come on, dude. Psychonauts does not deserve to go in the Dead Zone. Okay, I think I know what I'm cutting next. Okay, Bahamut Lagoon next. Nobody knows what this fucking game is. It is one of the best RPGs on the Super Nintendo. I could even make an argument for it possibly being maybe the best RPG. Maybe the best RPG. What? No, you could make an argument for it being the best RPG. I'm not saying it is. I'm saying it like that's how good this game is. It is up there. I don't know if there's even an official release for it. I think it might be a fan translation I played, but it's this game with branching storylines, with great characters, with this like really interesting kind of dragon system. It's kind of like a combination between like Pokemon and like a more standard like Tactics Ogre kind of thing. It's brilliant. Is Kingdom Hearts Dead Zone material? Okay, look, I have to be real about Kingdom Hearts. I don't like Kingdom Hearts. I think those games play like garbage, and I don't think they're very good. But it's too weird for me to put it in the Dead Zone. Like, it's too fucking stupid, and as dumb as I think it is, I respect how individual it is. And I respect that there's nothing else like it, you know what I mean? Like, there's nothing else like Kingdom Hearts, and I think that's cool, even though I never want to play through one of those games. And I've tried multiple times to play them, and I don't like them, and I don't like their stories, and I don't like their writing. It's too weird for the Dead Zone. The Dead Zone has to have integrity, guys. There has to be, not everything can go in there. Okay, let's keep it moving. And the next one I gotta cut is Persona 4 Golden. I'm guessing people are gonna be very upset over this. I like Persona 4 a lot. I think Persona 4 is a cool game. There's things about it I don't like. I don't like the writing for a lot of the character arcs. I feel like a lot of the time I know people are upset. I feel like a lot of the time it kind of comes to this thing where it's like the character's solution is fitting into society, and I'm not a big fan of that. Now, saying that, there's stuff I really do dig about it. I think it has the best characters of any Persona game. I think it has one of the coziest, most comfortable settings. It has a great atmosphere. It has a really good soundtrack. It's a really, really cool game. It's a lot of people's favorite game ever, but it is my 66th favorite game ever. Okay. Next game we are cutting is Witch's House. One of my favorite horror games ever. Fucking brilliant game. Made by one dude. No one even knows much about him or who he is. Kind of just appeared on the internet one day. A little indie RPG Maker game. And if you ever thought that an RPG Maker game couldn't be scary, I implore you to go play Witch's House and play it by yourself alone at like fucking midnight. It is a freaky ass game, and I think I really, really liked it. Oh my god, I feel like every game left on this... Oh, what a fucking song! This is called Tokyo Rose, and it's amazing. It's by Tokyo Rose, and it's called Endgame. One of my favorite songs ever. Fucking brilliant. Okay, next one, I think it's gotta be Spelunky 2. I have played more Spelunky last year than I think I played any other game. Me and my cousin Brian do co-op in it, and I went from not understanding Spelunky to just seeing why especially game designers love that game. Oh, has Wooly rated? Thanks so much, Wooly. Anyway, let's keep going here. Spelunky 2, beautifully designed game. Like, if you care about game design, I think people should check Spelunky 2. Again, I could talk for hours about it, but I think 64 is about the right place for it. Oh, this is so tough. Okay, there was one game that I felt good about cutting here. What was it? Okay, next game we are cutting is Mega Man 2. One of the best games ever, easily. Absolutely fantastic game. I think like a real technical achievement, but I think moving forward, every game has to be like just that absolute killer, and this is the only one I can pick out where like, okay, I don't think I can say that about this. Love the game, spent so many childhood years playing it, but that's it. Next. Okay, next up is Dragon Quest XI. Here's my justification for this. I think Dragon Quest XI is like nearly the ultimate like 9 out of 10 game. Everything about that game is good. The characters are fun, the gameplay is great, it looks beautiful, its world is really interesting, its story is pretty good. But I would say Dragon Quest XI, the only thing it's missing is that really personal X factor to just push it into like one of the best games of all time. And what I mean by that is I feel like it is a game meticulously crafted by people who know the fuck out of RPGs and have just made this like beautifully polished experience, but for me it's maybe missing that kind of personal touch that makes a game or any piece of art really, really beautiful. And I still love it, and I still think it is like one of the best crafted games I've ever played, but yeah, I think it's just missing that X factor to go further. Oh, that was a tough one. Like, yeah, someone's saying that Dragon Quest XI is kind of a reboot. If anything, it makes me more excited for 12. Yeah, I want to see them do something fucking crazy and weird for 12. Like, they have such a good setup now to do something like that. I don't know if they will, but when Dragon Quest gets weird, it can get really weird. So let's hope. Okay, one more before we get to the doorway of the best. Which game does not make it into the top 60 games ever? And I think it is Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. Everything I just said about Dragon Quest XI, I nearly feel like I could say about platformers and Tropical Freeze. I will say, I think in a lot of ways it could be maybe the best 2D platformer gameplay-wise. I think it's amazing. I think its levels, the way they like build thematically on each other, are like just fucking incredible. And I love that about it. I think it's words are failing me to describe this game, but if you maybe played the original Donkey Kong Country Returns and you haven't played Tropical Freeze, you do not understand what an amazing step up that is. And so I love that game. It hurts cutting it. We are getting to the point now, chat, where I am the one being hurt. This is hurting me. I cannot. It makes me sad. Those are such, like, Dragon Quest XI, and they could have gone further, but there's just more. Okay. Now, doorway of the best. Here's where shit gets even fucking realer. Dead Zone Doki Doki. I will not. I refuse. Okay. Oh, fuck. This is hard. Okay. Number 60 is going to be Danganronpa 2. I love Danganronpa 2. Some of the twists at the end of that game were the hardest, most fucked up swerves I've ever experienced in a video game. There was a point where I knew what was going on, where I thought I knew what was going on, and it pulled back so hard and kept pulling back and revealing, and I played the whole thing in this 4-hour chunk, as in like the end. And it just, like, it destroyed me. It was fucking great. I see people asking about Celeste, and Celeste is not on this list, but I will happily put it in the Shadow Realm. Not top 100, but a damn fine game. This is nearly hard because I feel like this is less about like these games having any kind of flaw that I can pull out to dismiss them, and more so just like how raw I feel about each one, like which ones get me really fucking excited and which don't. Like, okay, next cut is going to be Doki Doki Literature Club. I love this game. There's nothing bad I can say about this game. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I don't think it has any faults. It is a really fucking cool visual novel horror game. But when I compare it to the other like genre defining shit on this list, it just doesn't hold up to that standard. I love it. If you haven't played it, go play it. It's a lot of fun. I think it's free. There's some pretty troubling content in there, so make sure you check that out if you're sensitive to that kind of stuff. But I absolutely love that game. Okay, at number 58, and this hurts me, okay? I am not happy about this. Is Yume Nikki. I adore Yume Nikki. One of, like, in a lot of ways, one of the most important games of all time. I think it's fucking brilliant. But I think, like, when you look at that game and what it is, it's like an experience in a lot of ways, and I could absolutely see it not clicking with someone. But it's like, it's just so hard for me to justify that tiny game, even though, like, that's part of what's cool. Like, it's really personal and it's sad and it's important, but it's really difficult to, like, do I think it's better than Yakuza 0, Wind Waker, WWE No Mercy, Virtua Fighter 4? I do not. And, like, I love the game, but I cannot push it past them. Oh, this is hard. This is really hard. Okay, moving forward. The number 57th best game of all time. I think it's gotta be Disgaea. Again, incredible RPG. I think if there's one thing I could knock it for, it's like the characters are great, the story maybe not so much. But I love the gameplay. I think it's still the best Disgaea. I haven't played a better Disgaea. Guys, look. We knew this was going to get tough. We knew this was going to get hard. Ultra Force raises a good point. Is Super Punch-Out actually better than Wii Punch-Out? I would say yes, just because I think Super Punch-Out is a better feeling game. But yeah, I could see the argument there. I think Wii Punch-Out is a lot more a complicated game in some ways. Okay, this is going to piss a lot of people off. But I gotta do it, okay? The next game I'm cutting is Pokemon Soul Silver. I think in a lot of ways, this is the best Pokemon game that exists. I love it, okay? But I also think it's in Soul Silver you can see my biggest problem with Pokemon. Okay, I know. Let me finish. What I dislike about the Pokemon series is it evolves at a glacial pace, okay? And Soul Silver is in a lot of ways the encapsulation of that. It's like it is a remake of Silver, which was so similar to Blue and Red, and there's so much good shit about it. And I'm gonna remind you how many like other games it is above, and like we'll get to Blue. I'll get to Blue. I see people saying like, how is this above Blue? We'll get to Blue, but we are not getting to Blue for a while because Blue is one of the best fucking games ever made, okay? We will get to that. But I feel like what Pokemon Soul Silver does well is it perfects a lot of the concepts introduced in Blue, but what it is not is an evolution of Pokemon, and I still feel that Pokemon is suffering from that. Every new Pokemon game is like a quarter step forward, and I want something new, and I feel like I can hang that criticism on Soul Silver as well. It's a better game. Like, I'm not going to argue. Like, if someone wanted to play original Blue over Pokemon Soul Silver, I'd be like, no, dude, if this is your first Pokemon game, play Soul Silver. It rules. But that's not what this list is. This is about the games I feel super strongly about, and I gotta... Foxcade, get the fuck out of my chat. I've warned you about coming about these streams. Get out of here. I do not want your opinion. Don't anyone acknowledge Foxcade. He knows you shouldn't be here. So yeah, Pokemon Soul Silver at number 56. You can hate me all you want. I'm cool with it. You can't hurt me at this point. I am hurting myself with this list. It is so. I'm just seeing everyone. Oh, guys, it's a positive list. It's a positive list. Okay, next item. Oh my god. So I'll tell you what happens, right? Like, I'm looking at this stuff, and it's like, I'm feeling each video game. I'm feeling my affection for each video game. And it's like Bayonetta 2, still feel real strong about that. Bloodborne, still feel real strong about that. That Capcom vs. SNK 2, still feel real strong about that. But then you look at something, and you look at Binding of Isaac, and for the first time in this entire thing, I have, like, felt my resolve waver on Binding of Isaac, and I did not think that would happen so soon. Hades better than Isaac. Get out of here. Get the fuck out of my stream. You're not welcome. You are just not welcome. Shit, I think it's Binding of Isaac. I think it's actually Binding of Isaac. I can't believe that's not making it further. Oh. I see we have a question in the chat about Nier Automata. That's a pretty popular game, isn't it? People really like Nier Automata. What? Why is everyone so upset? Why is everyone scared in the chat? I'm just talking about Nier Automata, a very popular game. Foxcade, if you're still here, people seem to be upset because you see, past the doorway of the best, past the path of the elite, past the bridge of killers, past the mountains of quality, past the gates of acceptance, we have the Shadow Realm. This is the realm where games did not make the top 100, okay? But these are all great games. But past the Shadow Realm, we have the Dead Zone. And the Dead Zone is where go all the games I do not like. Shenmue 3, Final Fantasy 15, Mario Odyssey, Gaelic Games PS2, Crash Bandicoot, Yakuza 7, Shovel Knight, Xenoblade Chronicles. And I think what people are scared is going to happen is they're scared that I'm gonna type Nier Automata into the Dead Zone. You know, kind of like this. And that's what I would do if I thought Nier Automata was a bad game, but I actually really like Nier Automata. I have problems with it, but it's not like a game I hate or anything. It's actually a game I wish I understood more than I do, and it deserves a place in the Shadow Realm. I'm actually going to replay Nier Automata soon, and I'm going to play it all the way through because I want to like that game, and there's things aesthetically and thematically I love about that game. I don't like the characters that much, and I definitely don't like it as much as Nier 1, but yeah, for now it gets a place in the Shadow Realm. Who knows, maybe in a year we do all this again and it actually goes higher, but yeah. Nier, oh, we have a spelling correction. It's N-E-I-R. Okay, let me change that real quick because I don't like these lists to be sloppy. There we go. Foxcade, I agree. Like, OG Nier has some fucking incredible characters. People asking what song this is. This is what also one of my favorite songs ever, and it's called Decay, and it's by the band Home. A lot of people might know that from the Simpsons Wave Homer video, which is just amazing. Okay. We never cut Binding of Isaac, did we? Next cut is going to be Phoenix Wright. The game that got me into visual novels. It's such a good game. I really, really enjoy everything about it. I love the art style. I love the character designs. I love the I love Edgeworth. Edgeworth is one of the best. He's just fucking Lawyer Vegeta, and I adore him. There's so few games on this list I can even think of pushing it past, and it's gotta go here. It's gotta go. Why is Shenmue 2 still there? Why is one of the greatest games of all time still there? I mean, you tell me. You know, I mean, Shenmue 2, you just can't beat it. I see people in the chat telling me that I've spelt Phoenix Wright correctly, and I know that. I don't know why you would feel a need to tell me that. Okay, let's keep moving. Okay, next on the list is Gunstar Heroes. I know most of you aren't going to know what this game is, but I also know there's probably 2 or 3 of you right now screaming your fucking heads off. I love Gunstar Heroes. It's such a weird, unique platformer slash shoot 'em up slash fighting game, and it does it all with such amazing style and flair. The only argument I can give to it not going further just being I think there's more influential, better games on this list. It is such a beautiful game. Like look at the fucking love in it in the chat right now. That is how great this game is, and it's Treasure, who are a fucking treasure of a studio. They are brilliant, and I love it. I think it's their best game. It's one of the best games on the Sega Mega Drive. This is as far as it goes. Seven Force is the coolest boss ever. Oh, the fucking dice maze, dude. It's amazing. Okay. Moving forward. Oh, fuck. You know what I did? I just realized the next game that's going is Bloodborne. I am guessing that's going to be deeply unpopular. I love Bloodborne. I don't like it as much as Dark Souls, and I think one of the only reasons I feel okay cutting it is there's what I feel like is a really basic. I know. It's not bullshit. You're all fucking insane. No, let me finish. With Bloodborne, the one thing I fucking hate about this game is I hate how you run out of like blood vials and bullets. Okay, I wish they just can anyone offer me a good explanation for why it works like that? Because to me that just adds all this completely pointless just grinding and like unnecessary shit to an otherwise nearly flawless game. And I love it. Like Orphan of Kos, what a fucking amazing boss fight. The Murgo's Wet Nurse, incredible. There's so much great shit about this game. Some of the best art direction out of any game I've ever played. I think the way they reinvented the Souls formula was fantastic. I could see this is Brian's favorite game ever, and I have no fault in that. But for me, there's just 51 games. Yeah, like even Fox is kind of agreeing with me with the blood vial shit. And for me, I just prefer the gameplay of Dark Souls because I like to have slow, heavy weapons, and that shit is difficult in Bloodborne. So, which game do I think is better than Bloodborne? Which game do I think is number 51 on this list, but also not one of the 50 best games of all time? Okay, I know which it is. This is going to be another very upsetting one to a lot of people. Okay? The 51st get at the very front of the doorway of the best, just barely not getting into the threshold of brilliance, is Earthbound. Okay, look, here it is, alright? I have recently played through the vast majority of Earthbound. This isn't like some hot take. This is something that I've replayed it for the second time all the way through. It's a fucking great game. It is fun, it has heart and soul, it's weird, it's beautiful, it did things so differently from a lot of shit back in the day, okay? It is good, but I feel like when you think about Lisa the Painful, when you think about Undertale, when you think about especially Mother 3, I feel like all those games took what Earthbound did and kind of moved it on to the next phase. And when you have played all of them and you go back and play Earthbound, to me, it's hard not to feel like something's missing. It's hard not to feel like the battle system isn't really that interesting. It's hard to feel like maybe the story doesn't really have a whole lot to say. To me, in my opinion, I feel like maybe the story, like, and if there, like, is there anyone in the chat who can honestly say that Earthbound even comes close to Mother 3? Because to me, Mother 3, we're talking fucking top 10 game. And I don't want to, like, get into, like, what games I think are going to be top 10, but Mother 3 is as close to perfect as a game has ever been. And okay, like, this is super harsh, but Reda Vidson says Earthbound is a comfy, quirky Dragon Quest game, and I kind of agree with that, especially when you compare it to Mother 3, okay? And, like, it is harsh, but I feel like, see, I feel like people are kind of coming around on a bit, yeah, and I'm gonna stick with that decision. At the threshold of brilliance is Mother 3. Guys, I'm gonna go to the bathroom and get a water. I'll be back in 1 second, and we'll read some donations.